What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Scott here, your host once again for West Ham versus Liverpool in the Premier League. It's third versus fourth, and this should be a good one. West Ham is in very good nick this season as they host the visiting Reds, who will be donning a very similar color to this. Their beige off-white that they trounced United 5-0 in. Liverpool in very good form overall, but in particular away form. We have scored at least 3 in our last 4 away matches. In reverse order: 5 against United, 5 against Watford, 3 against Brentford, and 3 against some other team. So there definitely should be goals flying in past Lucas Fabianski today. I'll run through the lineup real quickly for you for Liverpool. You've got Alisson in goal, Robbo, Virgil, Matip, and Trent. So fully staffed back there. Hendo, Fabinho, and Ox with the start as Curtis and of course Harvey is out. Milner, I believe, is also out, and Thiago is on the bench. And then the front 3 without Bobby is as follows: Sadio, Jota, who is in also in some red hot form. Mo Salah is in a pathetic 2-game goal drought, so he'll definitely be looking to score against West Ham. We tend to score some pretty great goals against West Ham, some great counters over the past couple years. Liverpool's record against the Hammers has been very good. Unbeaten since 2016. I believe in the 2015-2016 season, West Ham did the double over Liverpool, but have been beaten 8 times and drawn twice. So yes, I've come prepared with my stat pack today. You've got Mo Salah leading the league. Let me see if I can. Do I have the goal scoring? Yeah, there you have the top scorers in the league. Mo Salah 10 in 10. Michel Antonio with a not so bad 6 goals. The players are having a moment of silence for Remembrance Sunday, which is the UK's version of Veterans Day, which we commemorate this coming Thursday on the 11th. So a nice touch for all the teams across the land this weekend, making note of Remembrance Sunday. And was there anything else I wanted to share with you guys before we get started? I think that's really about it. Of course, as always, please do get in touch. Right in the chat. I'm going to do so myself. In fact, hopefully my graphics are okay on the chat. This is a first time for a couple new graphics for you this time, but in any case, whoever you are and wherever you're from, I am happy that you're here, and please let me know your name and who you support in the comments. I love to interact with you guys as the game goes right along. And we are about to kick off very shortly. Let's see here. It is Fornals that is going to get the kickoff underway. The players take the knee. Okay. Oh no, what's happening? My scoreboard is off, I apologize. Gotta get that off of full screen. we go. Oh, nice. Apologies. I got to just touch this up real quick in the first 44 seconds of the match. There we go. All right, and we're back. So yeah, I gave you the lineups. No, not too much of a surprise for Liverpool. As Liverpool are already in the opposition box, and Sadio plays it further down the line for Robbo, who tries to cross it towards the middle, and West Ham able to clear it, but Liverpool definitely wanting to start this one very quickly, and they have done so. Good to Liverpool have been scoring first recently, which is definitely something that pleases me. It's just a matter of keeping that tempo up throughout the game, and credit to Liverpool's opposition. The last couple of weeks definitely being competitive, and although Liverpool have been pretty dominant in possession and controlling the match, Liverpool's opposition has not been lying down for them. And okay, so the graphics are looking good. Michel Antonio comes down the left-hand side, not too much help, and he tries to cross it, but Virgil snuffs out that attempted cross very quickly. Virgil's showing a nice burst of pace there to keep up with Antonio, who is he's just a great player. I mean, what a late bloomer, and he's definitely shown that. I think he's declared for Jamaica because he got sick of waiting around for an England call. But oh dear, and that is going to be the opening goal for West Ham, unless there's a foul called here against Alisson. Ogbonna is celebrating it as that ball just sails right in for an Olympico, as they call it, I believe, in South America. There's a lot of protests happening by Liverpool players saying that Alisson was impeded. The corner comes in by somebody about to be determined, but Alisson goes up and he's being impeded by Michel Antonio, kind of passively so. And then Alisson goes up with Ogbonna. I'm not even sure if Ogbonna gets a touch there. There's no real active foul going on, but with how protected goalkeepers are, I wouldn't be surprised if this one came back, because Alisson does go down with a thud, and we'll see here. He also bangs his head as he hits the floor, and Liverpool will be hoping that gets erased from the scoreboard. In the meantime, I will do a little bit of social media broadcasting to up our viewers and involvement. And the goal seems like it's going to stand. Goal. West Ham take the lead. So once again, I have jinxed my team in that I said we typically have been starting well and getting the first goal, but Liverpool are going to have to climb back from this one. Oh no, did I? Maybe this. Oh. Let's see. I don't think my link is live. Sorry, a couple back end mistakes that I made today. So just bear with me as I fix a couple things. Update. All right. Hopefully that should work. All right, there we go. Share this on Twitter. So look at Liverpool's bench today, just in case any changes. People are already starting to think about changes, just kidding. But you got Origi, Taki, Thiago, Tyler Morton, who that might be his third or fourth game straight on the bench. I think that indicates his. I think that indicates Liverpool's injury problems in midfield. But perhaps it's an indication that Klopp trusts the young kid. I've never seen him play, to be honest, but I think that is generally, I would say, a good thing that it's that same name that keeps making the bench, and I would go along with that theory, because otherwise, Klopp could just start, putting in different players to take up that role on the bench. But it does seem to be Morton that's there. I highly doubt that we'll see him today, hopefully, because I think the only way that happens is if we get a few injuries. Konate, Tsimikas, Nat Phillips, Nico Williams, and Queven Kelleher. So Liverpool don't look too rattled by that early goal. In case I didn't fully explain what happened there, it was just a pretty much run-of-the-mill cross, played pretty tight to the near post. In normal circumstances, the goalkeeper would just come collect, but perhaps West Ham did some homework, some scouting that perhaps maybe a bit of traffic in the 6-yard area gives Liverpool trouble, or maybe they just got lucky, but it did prove to be a handful for Liverpool, and it was simple as, putting Alisson off, and according to the referee, no foul committed, so the ball just soared right in. I don't even think Ogbonna got a touch on that one, so a bit of a lucky early goal for West Ham, but still a long way to go here. As one stat that I didn't throw at you in the pre-match was if Liverpool are able to avoid defeat here in this game, that'll make it 26 unbeaten, which would be a club record. So that's very impressive. I'm even kind of surprised that, that's a phenomenal amount of games that we've gone unbeaten. Surprises me for two reasons. One, during the 1920 season, again, to me, the best, possibly the best Premier League team of all time. Just so dominant up until COVID hit, and then some losses started showing up on the league table for Liverpool. But I think that's understandable as the league was all wrapped up even before COVID hit. But in any case, I suppose that in all competitions, perhaps there was a loss in the Carabao Cup or something that would have scuppered, because I'm pretty sure Liverpool rattled off something like 35 games unbeaten in the league. And for the second reason, the second surprising reason for me is that in order to be 26 games unbeaten, that means that this dates back to last season, and I didn't necessarily recall that we were on such a run. I suppose that does make sense. Again, now we're getting back to the Alisson 90th minute winner. Yes, our goalkeeper scoring against West Brom, one of the finest Liverpool moments of my lifetime. That was quite a run for Liverpool to qualify for the Champions League this season. So I guess there you have it. That's we did go unbeaten towards the end of last season. But back to the game here. Liverpool are going to be picking up a free kick here, about 35 yards from goal. They just had a free kick a little bit further, but it didn't really amount to anything. And Robbo was trying to put it back into the mixer. And Jared Bowen, who was a surprising link with Liverpool this summer, didn't amount to anything. But I think Klopp is an admirer of the young, hardworking, diminutive attacking player. What's going on with my focus here? That definitely was a surprise. It's not a player that a lot of people had been talking about, very much. But hey, all it takes is one kind of high profile admirer, and then somebody's stock can certainly rise very quickly. So there we go. I think I fixed my focus there, so you can see me in the full HD. Here's Mo Salah racing into the box. Of course, two West Ham players trying to take it away from him. And they were able to do so. Ogbonna is down on the floor as he failed in trying to take the ball away from Mo. But that was a nicely worked effort forward between Trent, Hendo, and Salah. Again, that wasn't really quite the triangle that I love to reference as of this season. Harvey Elliott kind of making that right-sided triangle famous. Of course, we don't have the young midfielder. Good news is I believe he's supposed to be back in January, so that's certainly a lot better news than we were expecting. But in any case, as I was saying, a really nice move down the right-hand side. It wasn't an open highway per se for Mo Salah, but we all know that he doesn't need a whole lot of space to operate and make things happen. So West Ham will definitely have to be careful in how much space that they are willing to give Mo Salah. Of course, please do get in the comments, as always. Happy to hear from all of you, and I also love to hear some feedback on the new features and graphics that I've instituted. Today I'm screen sharing the feed, the scoreboard from NBC directly. Actually, I hatched that idea so that way I don't have to manage it myself, and it's straight, as I'm viewing it. Of course, I'm not sharing the game with you guys, so hopefully NBC won't take my stream down or anything. But and if it's your first time, as always, let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. I myself am here in Monmouth County, New Jersey, where it is 11:48 a.m. We turned the clocks back yesterday, so now we're in sync. We're in sync with the UK. I think the UK was 2 weeks ahead of us in turning the clocks back. So our normal time, the normal schedule of games was thrown off for a good 2 weeks. Actually, I think most people in the US would be pretty favorable towards it because the games were a bit later in the day. It's tough for a lot of people on the East Coast to wake up at 7:30 for the early kickoff. So that 7:30 became 8:30. And Fabianski plays a very aimless ball forward, and it falls directly to Jordan Henderson, who is unchallenged by any West Ham players. And so Liverpool, I believe almost all 21 players out of 22 on the pitch are in the West Ham half right now. So if you look at if you just put markers on like a clipboard demonstrating where the players are taking up their positions on the field, you would think that this is like the 86th minute against Watford. Liverpool against Watford, winning by a goal, because they are that packed in. So it does seem as if Liverpool are going to continue to control this game. No clear chances as of yet. Interested to hear what. Maybe I'll just send a quick message to Liverpool Lee and see what his thoughts so far are. Again, I'm very slow to hit any sort of alarm bells in case you're new to the channel or my opinions. I tend not to be too quick to criticize, particularly with Jurgen Klopp at the helm. But I know the rest of the world is not quite that way. So, I think we'll have to see how this game goes, and then this result. Every result is the most important result of the season. It seems like, on Twitter at least. I was not surprised to see the ire that the Brighton result and Brighton performance really caused. I didn't think we played all that poorly. Not to rehash that game too much, but I would, again, let me get away from the word surprised. I think it's unfair for Liverpool fans to really jump on the backs of Liverpool too much, considering that we're still unbeaten this season. Yeah, maybe racking up one or two more draws than we should. But you don't. Not every result is what the result should be. That's why they play the games. So yeah, and I think drawing against Brighton, again, unfortunate, but you can afford maybe 1, 2, or 3 of those throughout the season. Meaning, not closing those out, and a lot of times people get carried away and say like, oh, well, champions close those games out, and sure, I'm happy to hold my hand up at the end of the season if we end up missing out on the title by 2 points, but until then, not going to get too bent out of shape about a one fixture. Lee says that he is not pleased about the performance so far. I'll ask him to elaborate. I've also been... I forgot to mention that I have posted an article as of yesterday on my website, which is probably impossible to find. It's a Wix site. Just search Beatty's Beat. But you can also find it via my Twitter. Go to my Twitter. That's the best place to find it. But in any case, it's sort of an article that perhaps some would kind of scratch their head and ask, like, why now? Why are you picking this moment to write this article? And that's probably a fair question. It's just something that I'd been pondering, but it is all about Arsenal being the worst, making the worst transfers of the last 7 years, their recruitment just being a poorly run club in general, and kind of breaking that down. And it just was fascinating to me, kind of covering completely thoroughly every signing that they have made over the last 7 years, and realizing that they have not made one single slam dunk good signing. They've just been varying degrees of dud signings, and it really hurts. I mean, it's not, I also think that not a lot of people realize that Arsenal have spent so much money over the last 7 years. I mean, they've averaged a little over £100 million every transfer window in spend. I'm not talking net spend, but in spend, over £100 million. And I think that gets lost on people, because I think you tend to highlight those things for the clubs that are relevant. And that's not even a jab at Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal fans have to be pretty realistic, and that has to be so frustrating that Arsenal are not relevant. They haven't made the Champions League since 2016, I believe. And a lot of times they've just been languishing mid-table, 9th place, and they can't figure out a manager, they can't figure out a goalkeeper. They've had about 6 goalkeepers during that time. Really pathetic recruitment, and yeah, it's not for not spending. They've been spending and just not getting any sort of legitimate return on it, because they've made a lot of poor moves. So anyway, if you're interested in that, please do check out my Twitter and check out that article. And give me some feedback on Twitter or on my website. Either is fine. Or I also have a Facebook page. That's a good place to talk. Lee says, first, I don't think the goal should have stood. Besides that, just not sharp. At the start, I feel Robbo put 3. Oh, and there's a ball to the back post for Sadio Mane, and I believe that is a gentleman by the name of Ben Johnson that shepherds the ball out for a corner kick. So Lee says, put 3 crosses into the box and no one made a run. What is that? Not the stuff of champions, I'll say that. I can't disagree with you wholeheartedly, Lee, but at the same time, I wouldn't. You pretty much, Lee knows what I'm gonna say already. I agree with where he's coming from, but I don't agree wholeheartedly with his sentiment. I feel Lee, and this is no surprise to him. I feel like he, I would not use. He's not a knee-jerk person, not all the time. Sometimes here and there, but I just think that he's a little quick to. A little on the pessimistic side or the worrisome side, but all is good. We've got Jurgen Klopp at the helm, and outside of one COVID season, I mean, he really hasn't disappointed us at all. So, and as the unbeaten run suggests, we have been a very good team for the last 25 matches. With some exceptions, and again, grinding to a draw. And I also respect the fact that, I'm not a top red and saying, oh, we can get by with, academy players, or don't say that we can be better. Sure, there are games where we certainly can be better, but I think it's a tonal thing. I think when you look at the match and we draw against somebody, you can win a match and be disappointed in your team, or you can draw a match and be not all that bothered by it. I think Klopp was, again, to reference back to the Brighton game, I think he was bothered by it because he noticed a change in performance from the team, which I accept. And like I said, you can want to be better, but tonally, I just think that, you can't be perfect all the time. And sometimes perfectionism is good. Bill Belichick or Pep Guardiola are definitely perfectionists, but I wouldn't call Klopp a perfectionist. I think that he's more of a practical guy. He knows you can't be perfect. He's very demanding still of the players, and but it's more of a feel thing. He's obviously a very emotional guy, very bright guy who uses his emotions to motivate the players. So, but with that, I think that he understands that you're not going to be playing 10 out of 10 every single week. So sometimes with a disappointing performance, it is what it is. You can't change it. You move on, and really sitting in your anger. Sometimes that can be motivational, but other times it's just not productive. So that's my thoughts on that. Mo Salah. Antonio leading a counterattack for West Ham, and the ball finds Bowen, who that was looking a little bit scary for a second because Robertson was retreating back to his 18 as the ball was coming to Bowen, and you kind of knew that he was going to take the ball and just cut inside right against the grain. A hard cut was incoming that could be an ankle breaker sort of thing where Robertson's momentum was all one way, but luckily Bowen himself sort of lost his balance and his touch, and the chance went away. Ball comes to Fabinho in midfield, then Virgil, then Jota out to Robertson. Liverpool a bit pensive on the ball. I think to Lee's point, I think we're almost there. We have the right mentality, but just lacking the sharpness. I think you can see that the Liverpool players' intention is to drive forward, to be direct, and that's good. That's what we need. But of course, you need the skill as well, and it just seems like that maybe the technical skills or the technical thought and the vision is maybe a little lacking for today. But still way too early to start worrying about that. Fabinho wins a ball in midfield. He gets hacked down, but the ball is with Hendo, so an advantage is played. Interesting that I've noticed Fabinho is the only player on the pitch to be wearing red boots. Or that's not true. Now that I see it, Declan Rice is as well. But that's just a little funny to me that the two flashiest boot wearers on the pitch are two defensive midfielders. just personality-wise. I mean, whatever. I mean, people wear all different color boots these days. You know, the least common boot color now is black, where when I was playing back in the day, you know, you wore black unless you wanted to make like a fashion statement. But anyway, Liverpool on the ball. Here's Ox sort of on the left midfield position. He reloads with Virgil back to Matip. And let's get something going here, folks. Liverpool definitely need a breakthrough. So we're going to throw up the Ale. As here's Fabinho, he finds Hendo down the right side, and that finds Jota. And of course, you know Jota is going to crack that header on goal, or as he attempts to head it on goal. It just is about not even a yard over. And it didn't miss by very much, because you saw the ball actually landed on the roof of the net. So it just needed to drop a little bit sooner, and I don't think Fabianski would have been able to do anything with that, as he was kind of just glancing. Granted, it was at his near post, but damn, Jota's got the whip on those headers. So again, it's I'll say it pretty much every week until I'll say it every week. Jota is so impressive of a header of the ball, despite being. Hey Google, how tall is Diogo Jota?
Granit Xhaka is 6 feet 1 inch tall.
Okay, I just got Granit Xhaka in case you didn't hear that. Hey Google, how tall is Diogo Jota?
Diogo Jota is 5 feet 10 inches tall.
Diogo Jota, as Google calls him, is 5'10". So, yeah, as expected, that's not really the tallest, particularly for a center forward that is, I don't know, I almost feel silly saying dominant in the air, but he's so ever present. I feel like that is an appropriate word for him. Free kick to Liverpool. Trent swings it in, and Virgil in a crowded area and off balance is not really able to get anything more than a touch, as the ball has to completely reload down the left-hand side with Oxlade playing it back to Fabinho, and Liverpool going to reset here, as again, 20 players are inside the West Ham half. So David Moyes, I wonder if this is a setting, an adjustment following going up 1-0, or if this was always the game plan. In other words, if this was 0-0, would they be sitting so deep? But in any case, they've got... and here's Hendo playing the ball in, and it almost found Jota's head. Then Robbo was also in there, but the ball skirts wide, and Jared Bowen has the ball. Wow, what a challenge there by Ox right against the sideline. He didn't have much room to operate defensively. I thought Bowen was going to burn him down the right-hand side, but Ox was able to slide in and keep the ball right in against the sideline. Ball forward here to Mo Salah, brings it down, very closely marked. He lays it forward to Trent, who is on the left, just barely on the left-hand side of the field. Here's Ox trying to go down the sideline, and he gets a cross in that is deflected down into the ground and up, as Liverpool try to get a head on it. It squirts out, and Trent tries to take a thwack at it, and it is out for a goal kick, as Trent is just limping off a... He caught boots with number 22. Is that Benrahma? Who tried to block the volley, which was up very high. The volley was up like in that sort of area, probably even higher, but I don't know if my groin can take that these days, at least not without stretching. So, how do you like that, Linnell? My wife's always teasing me that anytime I simulate something happening on field, it always looks the same. And she says he booted it and goes like that. But I assure you, I have more technique and versatility than that. So, Allison collects here, 36th minute, and he rolls it out to Matip. There was a humorous play by Jordan Pickford earlier today against Tottenham as he went to the edge of his box and rolled the ball. I don't know how this happens sometimes. I mean, sometimes maybe once every 2 years you'll see a goalkeeper go to throw it and he even throws it backwards. It wasn't quite as bad as that for Pickford this time, but he threw the ball and it went about 5 yards and bounced into the ground going directly to the opposition. And then the camera panned to him looking very frustrated and yelling. I feel like that's Pickford's only one setting. Speaking of Pickford and also referring back to my Arsenal article of earlier, not to give too much away because I do want you to go and read it, but I do give credit to Arsenal in signing Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, I'll be honest, when they signed him, I wasn't so inspired, and it's only been 3 months, but I think that he has really come in, and I think I jokingly called him a messianic, that was supposed to be Messiah-like, not Lionel Messi, figure. I was joking because he has really come in. Here's Sadio who plays a ball into Salah, but it is booted away by Zuma. That was a pretty enticing looking play for Liverpool. But yeah, I was saying about Ramsdale that he is just very vocal. I didn't even know that was part of his game, coming from Sheffield, who was relegated last season. And yeah, he's still a young goalkeeper. He's not somebody that has really proven himself, but his performances so far have been very impressive as far as I'm concerned. I think he did actually, you'll probably see on Match of the Day, he did get a bit adventurous and Allison-like, foolishly so. He came racing out of his box, I believe only with a 1-0 lead towards the end of the game there with Watford, and Joshua King was able to beat him to the ball. So Josh King was racing towards the byline and he had an empty goal, but at a very, very acute angle where only Mo Salah can score from, and he placed it into the wrong side of the side netting. But a little bit of an embarrassing moment for Ramsdale. But let me refocus my attention on this game as Declan Rice is miffed at giving away a free kick against who else but Mo Salah on the edge of the box. Who else might be taking this? Just kidding, because pretty sure we know that this will be this gentleman right here. Hopefully he can put one in the back of the net, because I think a couple fans, or maybe more than a couple, are starting to get on his back because he's been quite wasteful, maybe not into the Cristiano territory of Real Madrid in like 2017 or whatever that was. I think he had 59 straight free kick attempts without a goal. Or could it be this man who takes the free kick? He does line, I think we'll see who's lined up over this one. It seems to be Hendo, Salah, and Trent. Fabinho is quite far back. We'll see if some trickery comes about here as Pablo Fornals is doing the very trendy lie down on the floor behind the wall in a 5-man wall. Mo has his hand over his mouth. Let's see if this is going to be a tap and shoot or just a direct free kick. Hendo's going for a wander. Oh, and it's Hendo! no! It is him, and it's there for Liverpool. Well done. Look at that. It is 1-1 for Trent. And did I call that? Did I call that? Trent, there we go. Get the haters off your back. What a goal for Liverpool. And Klopp says, boom. Oh, and he sneaks it under the crossbar. That routine was Trent playing to one touch to Salah. Salah steps on it, and he just curls it. There you go, Linnell. There was a curler. And he just sneaks it under the crossbar. That is a beauty. Couldn't be a better time to score that equalizer. Give us 5 minutes before the half. Maybe we can even take the lead in this game. But nonetheless, that is the equalizer. And well done, Trent. Beautiful. Beautiful. "42nd minute. And, Craig Dawson almost got caught there 45 yards from his goal as he was really kind of pressed by almost the entire front three, at least within 10 yards. I think they were cutting off passing lanes. But it was Jota who slid, and he didn't really quite get the challenge. Here's the ball, and Jota, here, you guys are going to love this. Jota goes in for a slide, and he didn't quite get there, but he was able to block the pass of Dawson, but being about a half a yard from him. And so it was a bit of a scary moment for West Ham fans. I mean, I feel like, obviously pressing, thank you, Klopp, has really become very, of course, trendy and necessary in the modern game. But what's it called? Hello, Kiki. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Kiki has arrived. Howdy. Kieran, who do you support as a football fan? Make it the Reds. Must be. He is asking for a guest co-host. I don't think we'll have one of those today, but we shall see in the future. Hendo swings it across to Robbo, and he plays Ox as he is galloping towards goal, and he tries to find a teammate square, but a bit behind him as Liverpool lose possession, but very quickly back in possession as Joel Matip tries to bring Liverpool forward. Joel. Kiki says his football team are the Jets. So we have a Newcastle United Jets fan in the chat. Anybody else along with him? Please do let us know. Oh, football. He said Liverpool, of course. Yeah, I kind of knew that. I think Kiki was very nice to... Kiki's a very good gift giver, ladies and gentlemen. So get to know the lad. He's a great guy, but he's a good gift giver, and he has given me the window panel Adidas jersey from, I want to say 95, 96, the white, green, white Liverpool kit. Very, very nice, very retro, much appreciated. I don't know if I've worn that on a stream before. I tried to not have really any duplicates aside from maybe the current season jersey. I'll wear that. Oh, and Sadio has a little bit of a moment as he was maneuvering inside the box, and he tried to cut in on his left foot as he cut. And Craig Dawson had just about a half a yard still blockage territory as he slid out. He was committed. If Mane was able to just take another little mini step and take a shot, I think he would have had an open window, and Sadio, he would have buried it. But alas, Craig Dawson, who is on for the injured Ogbonna, that happened quite a while ago, but I don't think I mentioned it. I know, Kieran, you were referring to the New York Jets. I know. It was. Come on, you're on a world football stream. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, Kiki says, what can I say? Say nothing. I said it all for you. How about Liverpool Lee? Is he around, sniffing around the stream? We'd love to hear from him as well. Oh, and there are 6 minutes of stoppage time here. Here's Antonio, who loses his way on a breakaway. He was pretty free and clear. He really needed to be at top speed to really maintain it being a breakaway. But Trent was right on his heels. May have caught him, maybe not. But Antonio got a little bit too excited, lost possession of the ball, and kind of overran it. It's one of those where he forgot the ball. And that little mishap cost him, because typically when strikers are through in on goal, the XG on that must be pretty high. So Liverpool got away with that one a bit. West Ham still applying some pressure to Liverpool in the box, and Jared Bowen tries to really eagerly run onto. Oh wow, that is a terrible call by the ref. He was called for a handball as he tried to step into a free ball in the penalty box. I think he would have been converged upon pretty quickly by Liverpool defenders, but in any case, the ball hit him right here, but his arm is here. It did kind of look from the broadcasting booth that it was a handball, but on the replay, not even close. It wasn't even within inches of his arm, so Liverpool will take that mistake. Kiki, have fun. I think he said he's got some plans to attend to, so we do appreciate the appearance. There are 3 minutes remaining in the first half stoppage. I believe this very long stoppage time is down to the Ogbonna injury, as well as the VAR review of the goal. But still surprised. 6 is quite a number particularly for a first half. Mo Salah has the ball, plays it centrally to Mane, who tries to continue the flow of the ball heading towards the left side, but that is snuffed out by West Ham. Very even first half. I think I'm going to give a call to Liverpool Lee over halftime, because I do think it's a very crucial moment in the momentum of the game. Again, so happy that Trent, not only personally for him, but as I said, I really meant it that it was such an important time to score, because it gives you that momentum, which Liverpool did have the momentum, but sometimes it's almost paradoxically a bad thing to sort of have momentum but not score goals, because then it turns into, oh, is this just one of those games Liverpool can't unlock West Ham's defense, as Antonio plays the ball forward and Alisson volleys it from 35 yards from goal. That was quite a risk to run up and volley that one, but he made a clean connection, and it was therefore the correct decision. 30 seconds left, as you see. Declan Rice on the ball, plays the ball out to the left. Oh boy, Trent makes an error there, and it is West Ham. Oh, what an excellent challenge by Virgil van Dijk. That was a really important and very well executed tackle by Virgil. We got to give the Virgil flex here. Where is he? That was Trent made a mistake there. It was over his shoulder, kind of an awkward one. Oh, Jared Bowen was arriving right at the top of the 6-yard box, and you have to get that challenge right. You have so little room for error there by Virgil. This is why he is the best center back in the world. He gets that slide tackle in, gets all ball, and Bowen just has nowhere to go, just clatters into him. And you gotta love that. This man loves it. As the whistle will surely go here, and what is happening? Oh, it looks actually like we're not quite done here yet. We're now into the 8th minute of stoppage here at the end of the first half. Here's Virgil and Matip galloping forward. It's a free kick from the halfway line. Trent is going to be taking it. He plays it forward, and Virgil goes up and wins it. And it required somebody else to be converging on it, but West Ham able to clear it. It still looked very dangerous there as the halftime whistle does go. But that was another nice pressurized chance created by the Redmen. And we are going to take a break for halftime. Stick with us. Go to the bathroom. Get a drink, water, coffee, beer. Enjoy your Sunday, and don't go anywhere. We will be back in 10 minutes. There's the co-host that Kiki was looking for. All right, we are back. As you see, Andy Robbo's eyeballs there as we wait for the second half to kick off momentarily. Who's still with us? We'll give people a couple minutes to get back from the loo. But it is 1-1 here, and in the what happened to is my chat? What's happening here? Refresh the chat. Huh. Well, anyway, hopefully the chat comes back, because I asked what do the Reds need to change, if anything, to collect the 3 points? Who needs to come on? Do we need a tactical switch? Who's been good? Who's been bad in the first half? Who's going to get the winner? How many goals will Liverpool score in the second half? These are all things that are on my mind. Not sure about you at home. Why is that? Gotta change the scoreboard again. Folks at NBC are messing around with the positioning. There we go. There we are. All right. Yeah, I'm getting some feedback that let me check here. This should be the chat box. Huh. That's weird. Well, anyway, if someone says something in the chat box, hopefully it will restore itself. If not, I can certainly read it out to the folks at home. And if it's not working, I can just hide the dang thing, so you can get a better view of the map of the United States, just in case it changed since the last time you looked at it. Aaron Cresswell on the left-hand side taking a throw-in about level with the 18. Tried to read into people's thoughts on Twitter for the first half. Doesn't really seem like anyone's too angry. I think Trent probably saved that from happening. What's it called? With that goal. I think people think it's kind of not good enough, but and Allison kind of is to blame there for that goal. I mean it's kind of tough to explain truly what happened if you didn't see it. It definitely was a crowded area. I think it is the responsibility of the goalkeeper, so long as there's not any sort of overt foul, to own it. Get up there and punch it out. No excuses. It's your box, and if you come for it and don't get it, well, guess what? The other team is almost certainly going to score. And so perhaps the blame rests with Allison there. I'm actually going to check and see what, as Mane plays a ball into the box, lofted ball, and Mo goes to... it was given to Allison as an own goal, which is interesting, because I didn't even know that he necessarily even made contact with the ball. I thought he went for it and it kind of soared over his hands. I thought they might have even given it to whoever took that corner. Maybe it was Benrahma. West Ham tried to get the game, or tried to launch an attack there down the left-hand side with a quick free kick, but the cross doesn't go anywhere. It goes to Andy Robbo, who tries to get Liverpool forward, and he gives the ball away, collected by Rice about 45 yards from Liverpool's goal. Does that go into the demerit column for Andy Robbo, who he has been subject of some criticism by Liverpool fans? Certainly hasn't been his best season. Perhaps people are getting a little carried away with with the criticism of him, Hendo blocks the cross down the left-hand side out for a West Ham corner. Let's see. That hit his elbow, but it wasn't inside the box, so not really anything to chat about there. I'm just pressing. Yeah, I don't know what happened to our chat box there, but it did work. Okay, so test has been registered in the chat box. I don't know. I guess it cleared it. Oh, and there is almost a second West Ham lead by, was it Rice or was it Dawson? Again, another crowded area. Yeah, the way they lined up, they've got a man on the goal line. It was Dawson who actually was started on the goal line, retreated back, or was it Rice? I couldn't even tell. Again, there's another crowded area. It really seems to be a very heavy tactic by West Ham to get in Allison's way. It's never a bad tactic, unless you're just committing fouls and ruining corner opportunities. But yeah, I mean, if you can limit the mobility of the goalkeeper and then just drill crosses into that area, and West Ham have some pretty good men in the air, some tall center backs, and Declan Rice obviously relishes a corner. West Ham, I mean, I think that's really the only trouble that West Ham has really caused. As I said, there were a couple sort of potential breakaway situations, but those were spurned by West Ham. So yeah, other than that, really the only chances that I can remember so far were the corner kicks. Liverpool back in possession. Again, you got 21 players inside the West Ham half, including Joel Matip, who goes for a little journey. Oh, and the ball is... Oh, and that was almost a beautiful goal by Liverpool. A great ball down the left-hand side, and I think that was it Robbo or Henderson took it first time out of the air? That's Robbo who crosses it first time side-footed, and it was there for Sadio to finish, and he puts it directly at Fabianski. I don't really fault him too much. I do think there'll probably be some Liverpool fans, of course, that will point that out, particularly if this game does not end in a Liverpool victory. I think that would be slightly harsh, because I do think that was... I mean, the ball didn't touch the floor from pretty much 45 yards from West Ham's goal. So yeah, that was definitely a very bang play, and Mane got good contact with it, made a good connection. It was just he couldn't put it either side of Fabianski, and if he did, I really don't think... Maybe I'm a hater on Fabianski's reflexes, because that's the second time today that I'm alleging Fabianski would get nowhere near it, as he gets a ball to his feet, kind of a bouncer, but he's able to control it and play it out to the right-hand side, where he finds Ben Johnson into the middle towards Souček, who really hasn't been too active. I'm kind of happy to report. I don't know, just the thought ran through my head of another jinx. Of course, maybe Souček comes up with a winner for West Ham now that I said he hasn't done too much. But hopefully not. Here's Ben Rama down the left-hand side, finds his buddy, who's a very similar stature and haircut, Fornals, who plays in an in-swing and cross, but it is Allison who comes to collect just fine. Robbo into Ox, who I think Ox has been fine. I think he's done pretty well, but at the same time, not a barn-storming game from him. He's been involved in pockets and pretty lively. Again, I think his performance is basically going to go the way of the Liverpool result, which to me, I like to be a bit more nuanced. If a player or the team puts in a good performance, I try to assess that independent of results. But in any case, I think that's kind of the way it goes. I think if we win this game, people say, oh, Ox was pretty good. He was lively. He stepped in. If we draw or lose this match, I think it would be Ox didn't give enough. And again, in general, I'm happy for Ox getting a run in games. He's a good lad. He obviously has had a lot of injury problems all through his Liverpool and otherwise career. Most solid wins the ball 30 yards from West Ham's goal, and he's back in possession. He's in the box, and he tries to find some space, but his feign is snuffed out by West Ham. Virgil commits a foul and Virgil picks up a yellow card for a nothing foul. I don't know what that is about. Or was that... it seems the yellow is for Trent, who grabs Ben Rama. I was very... Virgil just put in a challenge a bit through the back of Antonio, but nothing crazy there. Just didn't get enough of the ball, according to the ref. But yes, it is confirmed that yellow card goes to Trent. Very easy header to deal with for Allison from Craig Dawson. We are Liverpool, tra-la-la-la-la. We're the best football team in the land. Yes, we are. Here comes Hendo galloping down the right-hand side, and he's in between two lines. He should have just carried the ball down the right side of the field, but he tries to do that Cristiano Ronaldo, like Cruyff cut pass towards the middle, and it is snuffed out by West Ham. Here is Mr. Oxlade-Chamberlain, who tried to tee up a left-footed drive. Looked pretty good, but didn't get very far. It was blocked at the top of the box. Here is Mane, who cuts it back for Salah. And there was a little hint of... It kind of flew right by a defender's arm. I don't know if the defender got his arm out of the way. I didn't notice too much of a deflection. It certainly would have been a harsh... No, it didn't hit anyone, but the ball came to Salah, who drifted towards the left, kind of top of the box, to get in position for a cutback, and it was a tough one. There was a defender closing in on him as he had to hit the ball first time on a bounce, kind of left of the goal, and he didn't go across his body enough to get it on target, but I think we'll give him that one. I'm tempted to say that we can get at Craig Dawson, because he does seem to be putting in these last-ditch challenges, and he's winning the challenges and making the blocks, but they do seem desperate, for lack of a better word, and it's funny because when growing up, let's say when I grew in the 90s, 2000s, when you would glorify and remember fondly a defender like Maldini, you picture him making this beautiful last-ditch sliding challenge that has to be timed perfectly, exactly like Virgil did in the first half. But it is funny because nowadays, the best defenders like Virgil and Matip, they don't really make a whole lot of sliding challenges because they're very well positioned. Now I feel like a bit more of a mature assessment of defending is if you're slide tackling left and right, then you probably aren't a good defender, because why are you putting yourself in those positions to be having to make those challenges? But in any case, Here's Ben Rama taking on Fabinho. He beats him but runs out of room and balance as he tries to find Antonio, but it soars past. Antonio has to go to the right-hand side to collect it. He just back inside and tries to play a ball in. Jota wins the ball down the left-hand side, and he is astonished to have a foul called against him. And so against Declan Rice, he's grabbing his arm a bit there. I'm not surprised that the foul was given, but back in the early 2000s, that would not have been a foul. It wasn't enough, particularly judging the reputation of Declan Rice in terms of being a tough man. There wasn't a whole lot of force that necessarily would have forced him to the ground. There was a little bit of an arm pull, but typically that can be forgiven. But when a player goes to ground, he gives the ref a decision to make, and very often the foul is given. Here is Jared Bowen, left-footed to play it in. The retreating Hendo is able to block the cross. Bowen gets the ball again and goes down his right-hand side, plays it in. It is also played clear. Liverpool are looking like they want to counterattack, but very strangely, there was about 5 Liverpool players all in one little tidy circle. Everybody sort of looking around as who was making that surging run forward, as Jota was fouled there by Zuma, and I think Virgil is asking the referee for a card there, as the suggestion that Zuma knew what he was doing in picking up that foul, so that way Liverpool couldn't march forward and catch West Ham out on the break, as they had a great many men committed forward. Matip has the ball. Matip is such a good passer of the ball. He finds these little channels where he can find the feet of his attacking teammates, and he just makes it look easy. But such is the vision of the Cameroonian center back. He doesn't play a whole lot of balls that get snuffed out, and you find yourself saying he's trying to force it. So a little shout out for Mr. Matip there. I just saw the Redmen tweeted out a new song that has been created by some Liverpool fans making the trek down to London. It is to the tune of Waka Waka by Shakira, the 2010 World Cup song. It's pretty good. I'm debating whether I should try and sing it here now. It's Waka Waka, his name is Joel Matip, he comes from Africa. So it's pretty good. That's a good song for Matip, as he has possibly been I don't know about possibly, this quite certainly is the best season that he's had for Liverpool, which is actually saying something, because he has been a very good center back for us. But everyone's always been second fiddle to Virgil van Dijk. I think Van Dijk is I think Van Dijk is still the best defender in the world, but most people would question that, perhaps, saying that he's not as imperious as he once was, due to the still recovering from the ACL injury. I mean, I don't think there's any obvious signs. I just think he's not as pristine and polished and perfect as he always is. But anyway, because of that, I think the questioning has come in. Has Matip been having a better season than Virgil, which is almost blasphemous as far as I'm concerned. But again, I think that it's a valid question, because I think Matip has been, extremely good, and we just hope that he stays healthy. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how things work. Last season we had a complete center back crisis. How much of that could we control depends on who you ask. But now we have so many center backs. Again, knock on wood. We've got Virgil and Matip, who, if they're healthy, they should play every single game. But you got Konate, Gomez. A little bit of a rumor that Gomez might be looking for a change in scenery because he really seems to be down the pecking order in Jurgen's eyes. I think that would really be a shame because I do think that he has potential. Granted, he is, I think, 25, maybe even 26 at this point, but that's still young as a center back, and I still think that, I think he and Virgil at certain periods in their Liverpool career, again, people are going to go crazy with me saying this, but in certain periods of their Liverpool career, Virgil and Gomez were the two best center backs in the Premier League. So he definitely can be there. Again, I think you do have to be honest with yourself and say that Gomez is injury prone, as is Matip, but they both can be, 1A, 1B with Virgil, and I think that's really saying a lot. I also think that, perhaps you could get carried away and say, I think their performances are validly that good alongside Virgil, but at the same time, when you start saying, this is the best defender in the world, I do think that there's a lot to be said for Virgil making his partners really look good. Even Dejan Lovren, who I am not a fan of whatsoever, he put in some fine performances with Virgil. As Thiago is getting ready on the bench, getting some instructions from Peter Krawiec. Mr. Thiago. Here's the league table coming into this afternoon. You've got Chelsea and Man City right above Liverpool. Oh, and here's West Ham coming through, and it is a goal for West Ham. Let's put that away. Fornals was able to get a through ball snuck through to him, and he was able to get an effort on goal past Alisson, and the goal was pretty gaping there. The ball was lost in the midfield by Mane. Fabinho put kind of a crowded ball into him. West Ham picked up the ball by Bowen, and Fornals is way onside as Matip committed himself to trying to cut off the pass, but that left Fornals wide open. I don't know what that decision was. Virgil was sort of beaten there by Bowen, but Matip cannot commit himself there and Alisson gets a piece on that. I think a lot of people are going to say that Alisson had a stinker of a game today because sure, could he have done better with that? Do I expect him to? Yes, but this is a breakaway. You can't expect Alisson to save everything. So it's unfortunate that his defense really left him exposed there. Matip really is the one that I point the finger at there because he commits himself and then leaves Fornals in behind with nobody marking him. That was Matip's mark, and all you have to do is slip the ball around Matip, and Fornals just has to run it. I don't know if Matip thought he could pull him offside, but that was a wrong decision as Thiago is on for Mr. Chamberlain as Liverpool need to chase this game now. Thiago, here's Hendo, plays the ball to the back post, and it hits the side netting, not the side netting that Liverpool fans would hope for. Wow, Diogo Jota got sort of bodied while he was in the air by Ben Johnson, put him off there. I mean, Jota was a good 3 or 4 yards wide of his near post. So it would have been a pretty difficult task to beat Fabianski there, both being challenged and wide of his near post and beating the keeper at the near post. Moyes' men are looking pretty good right now. West Ham looking for their first win versus Liverpool since 2016. I will be hoping for the opposite, of course. 20 minutes to get 2 goals for Liverpool. But again, if the stats coming into this match are to be believed, then scoring 3 goals in an away Premier League match shouldn't be too much of a problem for Liverpool. Thiago wins the ball from Fornals 40 yards from goal, and Liverpool are able to sort of come forward. I mean, West Ham players were back, but that was a sort of a double transition, almost like a double counter attack. As West Ham are still, they're leaving 2 players forward, in Bowen and Antonio. They're looking for a third, despite having everybody else back. Some sort of foul is called. I don't know if this is an offside, but ball's already in play. Thiago plays it over to Hendo. Thiago's looking very quick of thought today. It's interesting. Again, my comment for Thiago is always, I love watching him. I think he really needs to, in order to really be a nailed-on player for Liverpool, he needs to play the Liverpool way. He needs to get the ball to his feet, get it away, use that great vision of his, and pinpoint passing. There's some times where he's a little too pensive on the ball, a little too much of a Barcelona player, which doesn't work. It slows things down, and that's just not the way Liverpool plays. So let's see. This is a different context that he's used to playing in. We're usually drawing. If Thiago starts, usually you draw to start the match, either drawing or winning, which certainly allows him to be more comfortable on the ball. But we've got, as I said, 20 minutes to score 2 goals, and so hopefully Thiago internalizes that and is able to make his decisions very quickly, because I do think that he can be the player I know he can be the player to unlock any team in the world. He can be the best midfielder in the world on his day. And certain highlight reels suggest that, but he's got to be consistent. He also needs to be played in position as well. Last season there was a lot of frustrating performances, but he's not really a defensive mid. He's a fascinating player. I mean, on paper, sometimes you can size players up and know what they're going to be like, but I don't think anybody saw Thiago putting in so many tackles as he did. Deep lying playmakers you typically don't think are flying tackles in left and right. I mean, and West Ham are through again. He was offside. Fornal got slipped through. It was a similar wavelength to what West Ham achieved on that second goal. Fabinho gets bodied off the ball there to start that counterattack. Again, he's maybe at the center of both of those last bursts forward for West Ham, so he needs to be a little bit more careful on the ball. Maybe he needs to be a little bit swifter in speed of thought. And here's another breakaway for Antonio, but Virgil gets back in time. He's looking very frustrated. He's looking for some help. He's not barking at anybody. Well, there was a little exasperation, but he's not screaming the way we're used to seeing Bruno Fernandes and Jordan Pickford screaming at their teammates. He's able to get the block, and this is going to be a corner kick for West Ham. Hopefully we can break forward and score one of those famous Liverpool counterattack goals against West Ham. Alisson is pushing Antonio as far away as he can. And Allison, and it's another goal from the corner kick from Kurt Zuma. It goes to the back post, and Allison cannot deal with it. I think that settles it, both the game and the assessment of Allison's performance. Really frustrating day for Liverpool. I expect my good friend Liverpool Lee to just say flatly, this is not good enough. You can't even, saying frustrating day is too generous to Liverpool. We've done it to ourselves. We've beaten ourselves. We cannot defend the corner kick. This is not the standard of defending that Liverpool should be, need to be, that we're used to. But who knows? Listen, it's 15 minutes left. Liverpool have always been the cardiac kids. So Divock Origi makes his way onto the pitch for Diogo Jota. So let's see if he can come up with some heroics. We all know that he is capable of that. I'm trying to remain hopeful. I will be honest. My assessment after that goal is truly how I feel that, this doesn't really feel like a day that Liverpool will claw their way back into this game. Klopp is going berserk on the sideline. He is pissed. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of movement. Thiago's on the ball. He finds Salah, who's drifting forward, drifting towards the middle. Henderson playing right mid right now. Trent plays a very curious lofted ball towards the back post, not really finding anybody. Sadio Mane has to go track it down. He does, plays it back to Robbo, then Thiago. Sadio gets the ball. It gets headed away. Sadio's cross gets headed away, and it finds Fabinho. This is just a whole lot of pinball going on right now. And here is West Ham definitely packed in. No two ways about it. And Trent tries to track that. There was a loose ball in the box, but Kurt Zuma, it was probably a 60-40 ball, not a 50-50. And Trent, I think you can just see it in him. I don't know if he's tired or lacking confidence, maybe both, but he's just swinging his leg at these crosses, and they're not driven. They're not as accurate as we are used to with Trent. So Liverpool need to find some leadership here. I think more than anything, again, we kind of suggested perhaps in the first half that we were lacking sharpness and cleverness in terms of unlocking the West Ham defense. I think now it just goes beyond that. You just need to see some leadership. You need to see Hendo yelling, because I do think Liverpool can do that. I mean, if I were a football manager, that would probably not cut it in just saying let's try harder. But we've certainly seen Liverpool out-muster teams in the past, and that working. I think Liverpool are world-class enough to do that. I think only world-class teams can do, or teams containing world-class talent. Oh, here's Salah going on a slalom run. He runs into a sea of West Ham defenders, but nobody really can quite stop him. Someone gets a toe in there, and it falls to Origi, still down this right-hand side now. He tries to take on Benrahma. Origi has this. Origi's signature is like I feel like he's always doing this. He's running down the right sideline. He does this touch and run around the defender, and he very often gets into this tussle where he'll like shove the defender, and in a way that isn't an obvious foul. I'm not saying it never gets called on him, but that sort of is a signature move for Origi as far as I'm concerned. Didn't work for him that past time as Benrahma was able to muscle with him. Oh, and here's the man. Let's go. Let's get it going for Fabinho. Not his best game. Heads for the sideline as we are going to get some Taki time. Let's go. Ooh, is he yelling? He should be yelling. Such is his graphic, but in any case, Minamino is on. I really appreciate this chance. Thank you, Jurgen, for showing some faith in Taki. I really do. I would be very disappointed if Liverpool were to give up on Minamino. I don't think he's really been given too many chances. And my wife, Linnell, is a very big supporter of Taki's and thinks he deserves more of a chance. I agree. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of him. I mean, of course, he got loaned out to Southampton. If in theory he were to be loaned out to like a Leicester or something, I think the reason I say it is I think he's that type of player. I want to keep him at the club. I want to give him chances. I do think that from time to time I think he can be basically the Tsimikas of the forward line. I think that's a very good way of putting it. And again, kudos to Tsimikas for allowing me to use that analogy, providing the competition for Robertson today. I'm sorry, not today. This season, that he really has grown in stature. And again, I said last game that can definitely be a difference in a season, a very subtle difference that maybe not a lot of people pick up on. But when Robertson is, in theory, out of form or injured or what have you, being able to slot a natural... Oh, and Thiago gets a chance, able to snatch at a chance, and Fabianski able to save it there as we were looking for one of these. Thiago, but... Not yet. As the Reds are chasing this game, I feel good. I feel like maybe we can get one goal back. Maybe two is just a little bit out of our reach, but we are threatening. And that chance by Thiago does suggest that I think we'll continue to get some shots on goal and hopefully beat the Polish keeper. But as I was saying, I was really finishing my point on Taki. I think he's a creative player. I'm not really sure we know how to best use him just yet. But listen, that's going to take time. You have to put somebody out on the field and have them bed into the Liverpool team, not just in the Carabao Cup, to understand how he's going to be able to fit in. And I get it. Klopp has access to some training performances. Oh, and it's Origi with a goal! What did I say about 3-2? Let's go. Divock Origi with some heroics. And it is 3-2. Great snatched finish, snatched effort by Origi there. Oh, fantastic. The ball goes into Trent, and he runs into a brick wall named Kurt Zuma. Origi takes a touch, and on the swivel, hits the ball and just finds the side netting. Fantastic sharpness by Origi. That is what we've been missing. There we go. There are my goal graphics, which I was so excited I forgot to use. But there it is. We've got 7 minutes left. And you're lying if you think that Liverpool cannot score one goal in 7 minutes. Thank you, Divock Origi, for that finish, bringing us back into the game. I do think well, again, whatever. I won't even eulogize this game before it's over. But this will be an exciting finish for the Red Men and their trip down to London. Oh, and Matip clatters Antonio. pretty fairly. It was an ugly looking shoulder to shoulder challenge. Matip jumped in at the right time and bodied Antonio down, but Antonio got basically trucked in the chest, and he fell to the floor looking for. There might have to be a VAR check there. Declan Rice blocked a cross like in this region, might have hit his hand, just saying, and if he did make his body wider. I guess the ball needs to go out of play to check VAR, but the play continues as Thiago does a step over, and he tries to slip Mane through but the ball travels too far for a goal kick. Come on, show that replay once again. West Ham making a change with, I believe that's Masuaku coming on for Benrahma, who takes his time exiting the pitch. Let me know if any of you are still sitting in your seats. I reckon you'll be out of your seats or on the edge of it. But in any case, if you still are nearby a device and you want to chime in your thoughts on Taki Minamino getting his chance, I would be thrilled to hear it. But I like that analogy that I think he can be the Tsimikas of the forward line. Or if it's Divock Origi, I'm fine with that too. Again, he obviously has written himself into Liverpool lore with some unbelievably important goals that he has scored. Just anybody, whoever can be the Tsimikas of the forward line, it would be much appreciated. Of course, we do have 4 for 3 spots when everyone's healthy. Of course, Firmino will be out for over a month with a hamstring injury. So we are down to the 3 starters with Jota, Sadio, and Mo. I have faith in our bench. You know, a lot of people think not the world of Divock Origi, but you know, he just proves time and time again, more often than not, when he's playing, he's scoring. Maybe not when he starts the game, but in the Carabao Cup or Taki's racing back. Oh, excellent work by Taki, playing the right back position as he hassles Masuaku and wins a throw-in out of nothing there. That was fantastic stuff by the Japanese international. Love to see that. I'm sure Jurgen loves to see that as well. It looked like West Ham was either going to try and fashion a chance for themselves with not many men committed forward, or waste time, and Taki was able to hassle him and play the ball off of Masuaku's toe out for a throw-in. Maybe telling of the game when I get very excited about Taki winning a throw-in, but it allows us to be back in possession. Robbo in possession. He's desperately trying to find a team. Oh, for God's sakes. Hendo tries to find Robbo and is needlessly out for a West Ham throw. As Liverpool's unbeaten run and undefeated season will likely come to a close here, unless Alisson can come up with an equalizer. Speaking of the gentleman, he's on the ball, plays it up to Virgil, and Liverpool trying to build the play here. It might be too late for that. We might just can't talk, I'm getting a little bit tired here. We may need to just start banging them forward and trying to win some knockdowns. I can visualize that. I can see a booted ball forward, route one style, bouncing, and then a player like Hendo or Trent getting on the end of a half volley, blasted into the back of the net. I can see that happening. But here again, it's Matip to Virgil, very pensive. Hendo getting the ball forward. All right, we are into the West Ham third. Here's Taki, played into the middle, and he is fouled by Souček, perhaps a little bit soft, but there was a nudge in the back, and Taki falls to the floor. This is Trent territory again. Might be asking a little bit too much of the Scouser to bang in 2 free kicks in one match, but I wouldn't put it past him. We are almost at the end of regulation. It is Hendo, Robbo, Trent, Salah all over the ball. Everyone's talking. It's a couple yards wide of the near post, but definitely still in range. They are showing a perfectly framed angle of the goal. Fabianski's on his post trying to straighten out his wall. Trent and Mo are over the ball. Fabianski's still on his post. But this is a very dangerous area. It could be a cross, really short one, a touch, a tap and shoot. Oh, and it's to the back post, and it's Sadio! Oh. Diving header at the top of the 6, wide. That looks so good. It was all ready for the highlight reel. The equalizer. And I think he was onside. He just didn't orient himself. He was a little bit too... he was too far ahead of the ball. He had to get his head back a little bit, and therefore he couldn't get around it enough to get it on target. Sadio looking pretty pissed that didn't go his way, but Liverpool are going to try and reload here. There's 4 minutes of stoppage. Alisson out of his box, pressed by Fornals, able to avoid the onrushing attacker, finds Virgil, Thiago, Hendo, a bit of space, steps on the ball, finds Thiago again. Here's Sadio getting a bit of pressure. He's 30 yards from goal on the left side. Virgil finds Robbo. Robbo, we need a really good cross here. Not really great, and it's a... I am a bit frustrated with Robbo's performance. He is definitely not looking sharp. I think his confidence is definitely on the low side as he puts in a very short cross, and that requires Mo to come more centrally to try and win the ball on the bounce, and Salah has to reach to try and win the ball. And it is very easy for Aaron Cresswell to paint the picture that was a dangerous boot up by his torso, which I don't really think it was, but with a crappy cross like that, I don't think Liverpool can really be too... can really expect any more as Taki picks up a free kick. He's done really well in hassling in midfield. I'm happy with the energy that he's brought, the energy and the drive. I think some commenters might think that I'm a little too much of a Taki homer, but I don't think you can deny what I've said. Antonio is he flops again in the corner. And thank you, referee, for not falling for that. There's 1 minute left in the game. Alisson plays the ball left to Robbo, who plays a bouncing ball forward to Sadio, still in possession. Thiago driving forward. He finds a bit of space. Great stuff by Thiago. Finds Trent. He's on the right-hand side. He plays a ball to the back post for Robbo, and it finds Origi, who tries to get a headed effort on goal. I think he does pretty well there. It's a pretty tame effort, but it's as good as he could have gotten. He had to get up, win that ball, falling backwards. Not a whole lot of He fouled Mane really in the process. He pushed his own teammate to kind of get that that momentum or that balance, that strength, and Fabianski able to save pretty comfortably as we are now past the 4th minute, and I think that this is going to be the game because Fabianski has the ball on the floor. I don't know what happened there. The ball was on the floor, and then he picks it up. I don't know how the ball would have started on the floor because didn't he save it? Anyway, whatever. There's no controversy there, but Klopp has a wry smile on his face as he shakes Mr. Moyes' hand, and that'll do it from the Olympic Stadium of England, and that is going to be it. It's Liverpool's first loss of the season. West Ham climb above them in the table. They're on 23 points. Man City also on 23, six goals better in goal difference. Liverpool are in 4th place, 22 points, plus 20 goal differential. Only Chelsea have a better goal differential than that by 3 goals. They're plus 23. They're on 26 points in first place. Not the result that Liverpool wanted. Quite a disappointing day. I don't think you can really spin that any better than that, but it's okay. It's one match. We go away for the international break, which I am a little especially miffed at since next weekend is my birthday. I wish I could watch my team during that weekend, but it'll be one weekend off. And then back on the 20th when Liverpool play at home to Arsenal. That's got to be a bounce-back victory. Hopefully enough players are able to rest up and heal up during the international break. Of course, we don't want any injuries. Here's freaking Declan Rice clown clapping up the West Ham supporters who are blowing their bubbles, and Moise, you got to hand it to him, doing a fantastic job there at West Ham. Not really sure how Liverpool allowed 2 goals from corners. If you just defend those 2 corners, then you've won the game 2-1, but it's easier said than done, and I'm going to stop rambling here. Enjoy your Sundays. Up the Reds. All is still well. Just a blip on the radar, but we will be back. And I bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great week, everyone. This has been Beatty.